So far this semester in world mythologies literature, we've talked about creators and we've talked about heroes, but we have not yet talked about tricksters. So it's truly my pleasure to introduce you to one of the greatest tricksters in world mythology through our readings for this module, Loki. Like most mythological tricksters, Loki is complex. Tricksters possess characteristics that are neither purely positive nor negative. They are described with terms such as clever and crafty, which communicate both intelligence and mischievousness. Tricksters tend to disobey rules and to defy conventions, which can be either desirable or undesirable, depending on the societal context. On the positive side, their inventiveness and creativity enable tricksters to sometimes serve as helpers to either humans or gods. And of course, they are often funny. On the negative side, their tricks often have consequences, often for themselves. That is, they can wind up being the butts of their own jokes. At times, they can be downright amoral. That is, they could not care less about the rightness or wrongness of their tricks. Another aspect that makes Loki particularly complex is that he does not entirely fit into the pantheon of Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, Loki is a giant, not a god. Notice how he is often referred to as the son of Laufey, a repeated reminder that his mother was a giant. Of course, the supreme being among the Aesir, Odin, also had a giant for a mother. And the relationship between Odin and Loki is unclear. Sometimes they are described as blood brothers or as foster brothers. In the Prose Edda, Loki is also called comrade and benchmate of Odin and the Aesir. Despite what the Marvel movies may have led you to believe, in Norse mythology, Odin does not raise Loki as his son, so Thor and Loki are not thought of as brothers. And eventually, Loki is no longer welcome among the group of Norse gods known as the Aesir. Loki, in fact, is ultimately tormented by the Aesir as a consequence for one of his tricks. You have already read about the trick that Loki is punished for back in Module 2 in two versions of the myth about the death of Balder. In this module, we will instead read two versions each of two myths in which Loki's tricks turn out to be beneficial for the gods. The ancient text, The Dwarves Make Treasures for the Gods, and Thrym's poem, which are excerpts from the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda, respectively, as well as their modern retellings in Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology, The Treasures of the Gods, and Freya's Unusual Wedding. As a bonus, I've also included two one-page excerpts from the graphic novel version of Gaiman's Norse mythology, which nicely capture the complicated and comic dynamic between Loki, Thor, and the rest of the Aesir. I hope you enjoyed these encounters with one of the greatest tricksters in world mythology, Loki. After all, this time, the joke won't be on you.